I'm starting to realize that time management is a big fat lie. We've been trained to obsess over productivity hacks, weird things called Pomodoro techniques, and now feel guilty if we haven't optimized every single minute of our day. If time management worked, then why are we still burnt out, stressed out, complaining that there's never enough hours in the day? Because here's the thing. Even if you have the most beautiful, optimized calendar in the world, none of that matters if your energy is off. People are going to feel it, and it's going to self-sabotage your project. Because energy is foundational to everything we do. And once you learn to master it, everything in your life, relationships, work, physical and mental health will begin to flow effortlessly. And once I learned how to do that, I went from struggling broke actor to having a 6-figure content business, traveling the world, doing what I loved. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the most powerful shifts that helped me move from working in fear to working in flow. So for years, I was in a stop-start cycle of productivity where one day I was smashing through work and the next I didn't want to go anywhere near it. I thought that energy and motivation was this fleeting force that I had no control over. Simply, it would come, and when it came, it was my job and my responsibility to jump on that. So I was relying on energy to show up, but living in ways that would push it away. And now I've developed a system where I can tap into that sustainable, renewable energy day after day. And a real turning point for me started with an afternoon coffee, which exceeded my usual 10 a.m. cutoff. And it felt good at the time and it was delicious until I was lying in bed at 10 p.m., wide-eyed, regretting my life decisions. The next day, exhausted, chasing caffeine, running on adrenaline. What landed for me is that I wasn't tired from doing too much. I was tired because I was using the wrong energy source. And that's when I realized that we're not designed to be battery powered. We're designed to be solar powered. Battery powered, think short hits of dopamine, caffeine, adrenaline, gossip. Solar powered is nature, sunlight, genuine connection, and moments of stillness. Where you get your energy from matters. And it doesn't matter how optimized your calendar is. If you're showing up to that meeting with flat energy, people are going to notice because our energy speaks before we say a single word. Remember, solar creates, battery depletes. And if you can look at your day through this framework and start to identify which habits and which actions are giving you energy, then you can start eliminating the ones that don't. There's a saying in the Navy SEALs, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And it's all about deliberate, intentional, conscious action over rushing. It works in high stakes situations, but it also works in real life. Now you've started thinking about what fuel you're using, that solar energy. The next step is to think about how fast you're burning through that fuel. When we rush through our day, our energy spikes, we're not centered, we're not present, and we're not intentional with any of the work that we do. Our focus is scattered, and we end up doing 1,000 things poorly instead of doing a few things really well. Wow, how many times I've sat at my laptop after a coffee and gone from window to window thinking that I am being productive, but when I look back on that session, achieved absolutely nothing because my focus was so scattered. That's not being smooth and slow like the Navy SEAL. That's more like being a caffeine-fueled squirrel. So think of your day as having a certain cadence, and the rate at which we move through it, whether that's walking, talking, working, that's our pace. And that pace will determine how quickly you burn through your fuel. So as an example, try this with me now. Breathe in through your nose, hold, and out through your mouth. You might notice an instant energy shift and feel your pace soften even just a little. When we slow down and become aware of our pace, we stop wasting our energy, which will help it last longer. And to wrap this video up, I'm going to talk to you about how our nervous system comes into this. We hear a lot about nervous system regulation, but what really is it? Think of the ocean. Some days it's wild. It's a scary place to be. There's currents, there's wind, there's big waves. And if you were in there, you'd simply try to survive. And on other days, it's super calm. It's flat, it's safe and restorative. And if you're in that ocean, you'd be in flow. This is just like our nervous system. It has two main states that we talk about. That's the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic is also known as our fight or flight. And this is all about getting through the moment and surviving. On the other hand, the parasympathetic is also known as the rest and digest. And this helps us recover and recharge. And you want to spend ideally about 80% of your day in that rest and digest state. The problem is these days, There are so many stresses in the world, so many distractions, so many triggers that we're constantly getting pulled into a fight or flight state. So, nervous system regulation is about noticing those cues and gently returning our system to equilibrium. And this really is the key to energy management, right? Creating harmony between those two systems. And like I said, you want to spend about 80% of your day in rest and digest. Sometimes it's helpful to be in that sympathetic response, like when you're problem solving, you're training, you're running for the bus. But in other parts, if you are too dominant in fight or flight, you're quickly going to drain your energy, drain your adrenals, and that's going to lead to burnout. So, what's the most powerful way to return your system to rest and digest? It's the breath. Our body knows how to naturally return to balance, and that's homeostasis. Everything in nature, everything thriving knows how to reset itself. Just like a tree bending in the wind will always return upright. The first step is to become aware. How much of your day are you spending in fight or flight versus rest and digest? Think about all of those battery-powered energy sources, dopamine, porn, drinking, vape. All of those things are going to give you quick spikes, but leaving you feeling worse. So the key takeaway for this video is to become aware of your energy source. Be slow and smooth like the Navy SEAL and focus on creating that energetic overflow, which we're going to touch on in the next video. But for now, if you want to dive deeper and discover some of the actual tools that I share to help you manage your energy, I've created a digital community called The Village. It's completely free and you can jump in there and meet other amazing like-minded people like yourself. I've put the link in the bio and maybe consider watching this video as well.